Hello, everyone. Very excited to be sharing some information with you today as we launch provider CorCare registration. My name is Lauren Sinclair, and I am the Provincial Manager of CorCare Training. A lot of work has gone into getting us to this point and where we're ready to enroll in CorCare classes. So it's an important milestone this week. I'm going to quickly hand it over to Dr. Sam, our CMIO, to say a few words before we start.
Thank you, Lauren. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Samuel Boisson-Blanchette, and it's my pleasure to be here today with you. We have a very important and exciting milestone to share with you, and it's the opening of the registration for training for physicians. And we will have a recorded session today to guide you through how to register for your class, as well as things to look out for. This is a meeting that's called a town hall, so it works slightly different than the other teams meeting. We will be getting your question in the Q&A. We'll gather them and then we'll answer as many of them as we can during the meeting. But if there's still some pending question, we'll create an FAQ and we'll make sure that it's available as well as the recording of the meeting. So thanks for being here today. And if you have any colleagues that you know are interested in this topic, because they are physicians that work at NLHS, make sure that they know either to join us now or to watch the recording afterward.
Great. Thanks, Sam. So yes, welcome. Today we're going to review general CorCare training information and how to enroll in CorCare classes in the learning management system, the LMS called Learn. And just to note that CorCare is Epic, so you may have heard both. Epic is the vendor that we are working with, and CorCare is the name of our specific health information system or solution at NLHS. So this session is intended for physicians and nurse practitioners who work at NLHS or NL Health Services. If that's not you, you are welcome to drop off the call to get some time back. And just a note that we will be sharing more information soon for training registration for students and medical students and residents. So that information will send specific communication to those groups. The focus of this session is to share information about overall training strategy for CorCare, review some FAQs, provide a demo of CorCare class registration or enrollment, we're calling it, the workflows there. We're not going to specifically address any staffing or coverage in this strategy in this session. Questions related to coverage can be sent to your current leadership. So we just launched a brand new learning management system. And of course, CorCare is a large scale implementation. So we want your feedback throughout this whole process. We're here to support as you begin to enroll in classes. And we also ask that you have a bit of patience with us on our end as we navigate through class enrollment, but also through CorCare training in general. We are training 20,000 people in 8 weeks, and that's no small feat in the winter. So encourage you to communicate with us throughout the whole process. All right, so this is our agenda for the day. We are going to review some training frequently asked questions and some important dates, and then you'll see a demo of the class registration or the enrollment workflow. We'll review some training considerations and then some available supports to close out. And just a note, we will save all questions until the end of the presentation. All right, so I'm not going to go through this slide in any amount of detail, but this is an overview of the provincial CorCare training team for implementation. So if there's one thing you take from the discussion today is to email us at corcaretraining@nlhealthservices.ca for support, and we'll point you in the right direction with anything related to training. If you email that inbox, there is a small army there waiting to support you. And I was hoping that my counterpart, Tyler, would be joining. Maybe he will shortly, but I'll go ahead and with the next little bit of the presentation. So as you may have noted on the last slide, we have 54 specialist trainers, which means that NLHS physicians and nurse practitioners will train each other in how to use CorCare. This is because your peers or specialty trainers know your workflows best and can answer any kind of nuanced questions that you may have during training. This will also strengthen our knowledge of the system as an organization, and it'll lay the groundwork for our long-term success. And I just saw Tyler pop on there, so I think I'll hand it over to him for the next slide.
Thanks, Leonard. All right. So what is CorCare training? So with the implementation of the new CorCare module, we will have training for all staff, not only physicians, to learn this new process for entering and accessing critical information to make you not only successful at Go Live, but thrive even beyond that. Everyone who needs access to CorCare will need to complete their training in full, and we do expect that folks complete an end-user proficiency assessment to ensure their knowledge and understanding of the system. The goal of CorCare training is to equip providers and staff with skills, necessary knowledge to optimize their workflows once this goes live in April. So when will this take place? CorCare training will take place from February 2nd and all the way past go live on April 25th. The reason we say past go live is it will be iterative. We want to make sure that we are equipping you with items to be successful as well. While training will occur in the above months, it will vary based on role, and we do have a few items we'll go through today to give example roles of what that training process looks like. For providers, we do expect that these folks, physicians and nurse practitioners, are self-enrolling for classes, but if you hear otherwise from other folks, managers are assigning and updating job categories otherwise. Is CorCare training online or in person? This schedule offers both virtual and in-person options for instructor-led courses. The big part to highlight here is the courses will be instructor-led to make sure that you have an optimized training experience. Training will be delivered through a couple mediums, including e-learning videos, classroom-based education, customization labs to make sure that the system is built in a way or is customized in a way that suits your needs, as well as practice exercise booklets to make sure you feel ready for a go live once you've completed classroom training. Whether in person or whether the instructor is in person or virtual, folks will have a hub that they're able to attend to make sure that they are having the best experience possible with this synchronous training. Classes that are indicated virtual and learn mean that the instructor or other participants may be joining virtually from another site. So an overview of what training actually looks like, as you can see this process here, there will be an initial orientation to give you an overview of what it looks like, and then you'll go through specific content via e-learning and classroom training that is specific and targeted for your role. It has been vetted by a group of your peers as well to make sure that it is accurate for your training experience. Additionally, to develop proficiency in using CorCare, there will be a role-specific assessment to make sure that you got what you needed to get out of training and can be successful at Go Live. Additionally, between this assessment and Go Live, there will be a playground environment for you to utilize to ensure your success, to make sure that you can go through the workflows and practice via the exercise booklets to ensure that you have all the necessary components. Following Go Live or at Go Live, there will be at the elbow support to reinforce training, answer questions for you, etc. There may also be other additional readiness activities to complement those formal training items and at the elbow support. Afterwards, there will be ongoing opportunities to increase your knowledge and efficiency in using CorCare. Once you have that foundation, making sure you know how to use it efficiently and have all of your questions answered. Additionally, providers will also attend a user settings lab, which is an opportunity designed to help you customize CorCare to better suit your specific needs and workflows. We all have preferences when it comes to that, so we want to make sure those are incorporated into your day-to-day to ensure a maximized experience. So where are the CorCare classrooms located? They were determined in collaboration with zonal leadership and are based on staff population and geographical considerations. It is available in the appendix for folks to see. You can see they are throughout the zone in its entirety. Please note that all classroom locations have been reviewed by necessary technical teams to ensure appropriate power, network, and other technical requirements are met to support CorCare training. So some important dates looking ahead. So the training timeline so far, we've been going through system configuration as well as curriculum development and review. As I mentioned earlier, we have vetted this with a group of your peers to ensure that it is accurate for your education. It is also built on community best practices to ensure that the things that folks are being trained on are the appropriate items at the appropriate time. We've been going through and doing super user trainer recruitment to ensure that we have the specialists ready to train other specialists. And we're at a point now where we have opened training registration. Once you registered for training, we'll be going through in parallel and actually training the trainers that will be conducting the training. And from there, we'll hop into end user training and specialist train specialists from February to April 26. Throughout that time, folks will be 100% of folks, I should say, who require CorCare access will be trained on CorCare and have their questions answered. A new hire training will be the start of training for new users as well and will continue past go live. Our go live April 25th, 2026 will be the first day to use the production environment of CorCare to document real patient information. Okay.
All right, thank you, Tyler. So that's a bit of information about CorCare training in general. So how do you enroll in classes is the next section. So the first important point is that technically the majority of you have already been assigned CorCare training curriculum. There was a big effort last winter where leaders and delegates logged into Epic Hyperspace and confirmed job categories for staff and providers. And that's what assigned them training and access, or assigned you training and access. So you should already have a training track or curriculum assigned to you in the learning management system Learn when you log in. So you log in to Learn and you should see CorCare classes assigned, and you're just going to enroll in the date and time that works best for you to attend class. And as we mentioned before, that training curriculum usually includes things like e-learning and classroom training. So you'll see the e-learnings populate a little bit down the road for you to look before you go to class. But the next part of the presentation is going to show you how to enroll in that classroom instructor-led portion of your training. So for providers, the training curriculum components of the track, they'll show up automatically in the learning management system when you log in, and your task is to go in and select class dates and times that work for your schedule. Just some notes about login tips before we go any further. So the CorCare curriculum is only available on the internal Learn site. So if you used to log in to Learn using your personal email, and I know some physicians have done this in the past, that will not work to access CorCare. So how do you log in? If you have an NLHS username and password, an email address for NLHS, whether that's a Zonal 1 or with the NL Health Services ending, you're good to go. So if you're already logged into your NLHS computer with your username and password, so for example, mine is Lauren.Sinclair, and then my password for my computer, you just click on the Learn site link and you will automatically be passed through. If you're outside the network, you log in to Learn with your NLHS email and password. You will have to do the two-factor authentication for security purposes like you would have to do accessing anything externally, but it's a relatively simple process, and the link is there if you want to learn how to do the multi-factor. But we know that some physicians may not frequently use their NLHS accounts. So if you, for some reason, don't remember your login credentials, or you need any help with login at all, please reach out to CorCare Training at nlhealthservices.ca and we will help you get that sorted out. So you're logged in to Learn. You see classes listed and you need to enroll. So what do you do next? So there are a lot of resources available to you on the provider resources page that's linked here. And there are also, we are going to have office hours as well. You can go to ask questions after the fact. But you go to the provider page, and if you click on provider training for physicians and nurse practitioners, you see next to the red arrow there on the screen, you'll see the resources there for training class enrollment. I am going to show you two brief videos there now about how to enroll in CorCare classes. They're less than 2 minutes each. They're also on that support page for after the session as well. So we'll go ahead and show you those videos. So video 1 is going to show you how to enroll in a CorCare class, so how to select a date and time for the classroom training. So we'll go off camera there now and show you that video. Ensure you're on the NL Health Services network. Log into Learning Management System using your NLHS username and password. Click on the Me tab. You've been assigned CorCare training classes based on your role in the organization. If your CorCare training looks incorrect, please reach out to corecaretraining@nlhealthservices.ca to let us know. Click on the course name to view course details and begin the enrollment process. The course details page will appear. Click View to view the class date, time, and location options for this course. CorCare classes are offered at different locations throughout the province. To find the class sessions nearest to you, click Filters. Select the desired training location by clicking on the Location drop-down list and choosing the option closest to you. Then click Apply Filters. Browse the options. Choose the desired class. Confirm the location, date, and time, and then click Enroll. A registration confirmation dialog box will appear. Click Close to continue. Congratulations, you are now enrolled in a CorCare class. All right, and then the second video will show you how to drop a class so you can rebook. So say, for example, you enrolled already and you realize you're on call that day or something else has come up and you need to change the booking. So go ahead and show that video now. In this video, I'll show you how to change your enrolled date and time for a CorCare class. Navigate and log into Learning Management System using your NLHS username and password, and click the Me tab. You can find your assigned CorCare training under the Learning and Certification section under My Plan. Identify the class you would like to change from the list, and then click the drop-down button next to View Summary. Click Drop. This will drop your enrollment from your CorCare class session and release your seat reservation. Click Drop to confirm. You will be prompted with a pop-up window asking you to indicate the reason for dropping the class. Enter the reason in the free text space and then click Save. The class was successfully dropped. Ensure you enroll in a CorCare class that works better for your schedule. All right, so as I mentioned before, if you can't get in to Learn, please email us. Also, if you log in to Learn and you note that any information is incorrect, so maybe the courses you're assigned are not the right specialty or there's no courses assigned, you can directly request changes using this data update request form that will be linked here. But you can always just email us at CorCare Training and we'll send you that form to fill out. Um, just a note to not add or remove CorCare training in the learning management system. It needs to be updated using that form so we can make sure all the aspects of your training are assigned correctly. But any other issue that comes up, please email us and we'll work through it together. So some training considerations. There is an exemption process, so providers who have previous Epic experience in a similar role within the last 12 months may be eligible to be exempt from training for the instructor-led portion of their training. You'll still need to complete the proficiency assessment, so that brief assessments that you need to get an 80% in, and go to a user settings lab to do your personalization. But if you think this applies to you and you have previous Epic experience, please reach out to us and we will have a chat about that and send you the form. Another topic is accommodation. So if you need any accommodation for learning in the classroom, please, follow the process you would typically do to request an accommodation. And if you're not sure how to navigate that, just send us an email. And just a note to send that well in advance so we can make sure that we provision that. So I really like this slide. So just to point out that, training is really important, but it only contributes to approximately 30% of your overall success at Go Live. We all have shared ownership, of course, to get ready for CorCare. Personalization, so those user settings labs, 20%, really important to attend those. And then all the readiness activities and the change management engagement coming up is very critical to success of you and your department at Go Live as well. So training super important, but other aspects that will be coming up that will be important for you to pay attention to as well. So some milestones. Here are our target goals for registration. Want to highlight that it's important for you to register for your classes as early as possible because it ensures we have enough seats. We based our class schedule provincially on, sorry. We based our class schedules provincially on the data that we have about provider volumes and locations per specialty across the province. But in some cases, we didn't have great location data. So if some, physicians aren't in our HR data, that kind of thing. So we forecasted best possible based on the data. But if there is not a class available in your area when you try to go enroll, please just let us know so we can schedule that in for you and let us know as soon as possible. The earlier we know, the better, so we can adjust the schedule, but also you will not get emails from us or your leadership reminding you to register, so everybody wins there. So what is next? Please go to the provider resources page, review the resources there, review the frequently asked questions document. Have a look out for, it'll be an optional office hours invite that you'll have weekly in your schedule. If you're interested in joining that, please join it so that our team can answer any questions you might have about CorCare training and how to enroll. And we'll also have a recording of this session available after the call and a PDF, of course, of the presentation too with all the links. So go ahead and enroll in CorCare classes and learn. There's the link is here and will also be on the support page. Just remember a few key things. So please remember to select the correct location for your classroom training from that drop-down list. You will see all the provincial listings if you don't use that filter. Let us know if we need to add a class in your area. And Tyler mentioned this, but virtual does not mean remote. So special technical setup is needed to access the training environment. So when you see virtual in the learning management system, it just means that you're still going to the classroom, but the instructor or other attendees in the class may be joining virtually from other parts of the province. And reach out at any time if you need support. And I have to put a plug in. If you are a physician, to ensure that you and your staff get appropriate access to either CorCare Link, which is the read-only portal, or CorCare Hyperspace, the full documentation system, please complete this survey. About 50% of providers, or I should say physicians, have already completed the survey so far, so thank you very much if you already have. You do not need to complete it again. But I'll leave this slide up during the question period in case you want to grab that QR code and fill that out in this time that you have. So I will go ahead and have a look at the Q&A and see what questions we have. And so please type your questions into the Q&A. So there's a question here about GFT faculty have been set up on NLHS using our MUN emails. Will we need to email CorCare for access? Or if we use our NLHS logins, will we get access? So yes, if you you should use your NLHS login to log in to learn. If you do not have one, you can reach out to us and we will sort that out. But it is absolutely your NLHS username and password that you need to go in and register for classes. All right, I'll wait for a few minutes there. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag before questions come in. And I can briefly show you the appendix as well while we're waiting for questions. So in the appendix, you will see all of the training hubs per zone. There is also the Appendix B is how to access Learn. And, we just launched the new system and initially it was about a month ago, but there was some people reaching out to say that they had issues with accessing the page. And the solve for that is to clear cache or cookies. So there's two GIFs in this presentation that will show you how to do that depending on what browser you're using, but you can also just reach out to us and we'll walk you through that. So either way will work. And these are wonderful instructional designers or principal trainers for CorCare curriculum. So they built our training environment. So our training environment is basically a replica of the live environment that has pretend patients, and so you can do workflows similar to what you would see in the real environment. And they've developed all the curriculum. So hats off to them. And then finally, our course catalog link. This link is on the internal site, so you will have to be on the network to view that one. But basically, it has a listing of all of our CorCare courses and a brief description of it's only for our instructor-led courses, but it has a brief description of what they all are. If you click on the title in the table of content, it will pop you out to the page that you want to view. So just a little bit about that. So I'll go back to our QR code in case you want to do the survey and I'll look for more questions. There we go. So there's a question here. I received an invite for classes from the Saba Cloud email. When I select the course, there's nothing available to register for. Have the classes not been set up or is that an error on my end? So Saba is sort of the back-end solution for Learn. So that is one and the same of Learn. I know that's a bit confusing, but yeah, that's Learn. So when you go in and select the course, it sounds like there's no available classes showing up for you. If that's the case, please send us an email and we'll make sure that we have availability for the classes wherever you are located. So send us an email to the CorCare training inbox and we'll make sure we add a class there for you. Lots of questions here now. So I'm assigned CorCare emergency department provider, but no Western Zone location available. So we will fix that. Please send us an email and we will make sure. So you'll have to send your zone and also your hub location. So you'll have to send me like if you're in Corner Brook or are you in Stephenville. And by hub location, you can just tell us your town and we'll make sure that we add a class. And if you know there's other providers with the same specialty in your area that also need to be in that class, please let us know the volume that we need. As I said, we based it off of the data that we had, and we also worked with Med Services to make sure proportionately we had enough classes. But for sure, we can add classes where we need to. We definitely, it's not a perfect schedule yet. Is it only physicians need to complete the survey or NPs as well, as we may have this same clinical view? Sam, do you want to answer that question about the survey? Like whether nurse practitioners also have to fill out the survey? I believe it's just providers, but maybe you can chime in.
Yeah, Lauren, the term provider is both NP and physician. However, for the survey, it's only physicians.
Perfect, thanks. For the personalization aspect, is that done at training or should that have already happened as we have not met with anyone as a group? Work as a general pediatrician. So those personalization labs will happen as part of, you will register for those. Some of the providers will have it embedded in their training day, and others will register for it, but you will see it listed there to register for. So that none of that has happened yet. That's part of the training that you'll receive between February and April. So someone is saying, I just logged into my learning management system, did the steps, no courses. Did I miss a step? So I really hope you're going to send us an email or you're going to join our office hours, because sometimes it's a one step that's missing. But it could also be that there's no classes. We should have classes in all zones for where we need them. But if you want to, we can set up a call, just email our inbox and you can share screen and we can work through that together. Yeah, so any login questions related to Learn, we are probably not going to troubleshoot on this call, but if you email us, we'll set up a time and we will figure it out with you. Can a training session be scheduled for Friday? Okay, so there's some specific requests around training. So this session about how to register will be posted and the link will be sent out. But if you're talking about a specific class that you need on a specific day, you can send in that request. We do have a very complex schedule because we're scheduling for 20,000 people and the classrooms are well, we can have a look and see what we can do. So send that question in. Looks like I was assigned to do the training. Okay. So any specific questions about your kind of unique scenario, or if anything is sort of not looking quite right, please email us and we'll have an offline conversation about those for sure.
And Lauren, maybe it's worth saying, so the availabilities of training spots that you see, they were made based on when the trainers can train. So there are different trainers that are physicians within NLHS. These physicians have specific availability because they're clinically working just like you. So we've used a combination of their availabilities to create spots for you to sign in.
Yeah, great point. And there is a comment here about, there's nothing showing up for me. So that form that I spoke about earlier, so we did something called job assignment validation where, job categories were assigned, but if for some reason there is nothing showing up for you, we'll want to make sure to update that. So there is a CorCare training registration and data update request form, and maybe Kayla or someone can pop that into the Q&A, the link to that. But that is what you would fill out in order to get whatever training you need added there. So that's definitely the pathway to do that. But that is on the resources page. But if you email us, we'll send it to you too to get that updated for you. Users provisioning, we chatted with them today, and that's who does that update. And they said generally it'll take 24 to 48 hours to update in the system after you submit that form. Should the invite to register for CorCare already be in our Learn profile? So yes, if you go to the Me tab in Learn, you should see a list of all the training that you've been assigned, and your CorCare classes should show up there too. So if you're not seeing that, you fill out the form that I was just chatting about. Some more questions about login. So those you can send along to our inbox and we will work with the Learn team to answer those. Someone's saying, I missed how you access the course listings. Want to ensure I'm registering for the correct courses. So essentially there, it comes from actually Epic itself. So there was job assignment validation where leaders went in and they assigned job categories, or they validated job categories, and it's sort of like, it's like an access request. It's basically your job category. based on your job category, you get training assigned in the learning management system. So they should all show up for you when you log in. And if there's anything, if you're not seeing anything there for CorCare or it's not looking quite right, you would fill out that form that I was talking about, the data update request form. What is the email address to send questions about logging in? I will go to that slide so you can see it. So I'm not going to send you to Learn Support right away. We'll try to solve it before we send it to them. You can email us, I think, first. So that's the email address there for general questions. I think it's on this slide too. So it's right under the thank you there, CorCare Training, and Core does not have an E. So CorCare Training at nlhealthservices.ca. If you're a specialist trainer, should you register for a session in Learn? No, if you're a specialist trainer, you're going to have Epic Train the Trainer sessions coming up in November and December. So you do not need to register and Learn for those.
You get to pass go and collect $200.
All right.
But no, that's a good question because
Yep.
trainers have started to. That's what I think, Lauren. That's a good follow-up information we can give our trainers, not to go sign up to trainers because what they will get in order to become trainers is enough.
Yeah, and you'll get your access based on that because you will have extra training. So someone's asking, does our manager have to submit the data update request form? Asking as an MP, that's a great question. So Jamie, you can actually email us. It would be your manager that would go in directly and update your job category. They should know how to do that because they've had training. We had 5 training sessions last week. But you can copy us on an email to your manager and we can connect with them if they're not sure how to do it, but they should be able to go in and update your job category directly in the system. And more questions about the form if you're not assigned training, and that is the data request form. And we'll make sure that this slide deck is shared out afterwards, so you have all the links and that the form will be there. It's also on the internal website, but we'll make sure that all the links go out after the call. So someone's saying the CorCare, so CorCare, there's a CorCare training inbox and there's a CorCare inbox. You can email either. It will go to the right place in the end. But someone's saying it's coming up as Nilchi. That's totally fine. That's the correct one. So it's CorCare training at nlhealthservices.ca. If there's a Nilchi one popping up, it will go to the right place. So someone's asking, can I log into the system from home or only at the hospital? So if you're talking about the Learn system, learning management system, you can log in from home as well. The resources page is external, so you should be able to access everything on there. But the Learn site, you can also access externally. The only thing is you're going to have to do 2-factor. So there's a link in, like, similar to what you have to do for everything these days. So there's a link in this document and on the support site too that will show you how to set up 2-factor. It is pretty straightforward anyway. You're going to be prompted to do it, but you would just fill in your email address and then you'll be prompted with 2-factor. So there's a document to show you how to set that 2-factor up though. So it is accessible. You just have to do 2-factor authentication. What else do we have? So there's a question here. As a physician, do we register for CorCare classes or will the trainer come to us? So you will go into the learning management system. You should see your training there. If you don't, you can email us. But you'll see your classes that you're assigned and you would go in and enroll like the video showed. And there's also a step-by-step user guide and you can hop on a support call to get that piece done. But you enroll in the class time that works best for you. Let us know if there's no classes listed for your area. But you're going to see that there's a site and a location, like a classroom location, which we're importing today. We're supposed to import today, but it might be tomorrow morning. So you will see that there, and you can select where you're going to go to training. But you're going into a classroom in an NLHS facility. So you're going to come into a classroom, and either you're going to put your headset on and somebody's going to be instructing you virtually on a computer, or there's going to be somebody in front of the computer or in front of the classroom teaching you. For a lot of the sites who are like they're more remote, a lot of the training is virtual because the class sizes are smaller, and we have 154 trainers. We have 54 specialist trainers. They can't be everywhere. They can't go everywhere. So some of them will be virtual. It will all be, live and whatnot in terms of like synchronous training, but sometimes the instructor will need to be virtual on the screen with you. Going down to see if there's any I didn't address. Okay. I think that's it for new questions. The ones that are left there are specific to different people's scenarios, and we can chat about those if you reach out to us um, about, what type of training you're assigned and things like that. So we'll wait around for another minute or so, but you are welcome to drop off as well if you don't have any questions, and we'll make sure that the recording gets out to everyone after the call as well. Question came in. Yes, so the last question here is, will the documents with instructions be sent out after this call? And absolutely they will be. So we'll send out a PDF of the presentation, and there will be a recording on the support site as well. So thank you everyone for joining today, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, Lauren. Take care, everyone.